Hello and welcome to a Star Citizen short explaining server player caps, object container streaming, server meshing, how it works, and the plans for the future. The aim with server populations or player caps is to eventually have everyone be able to play in a single shard or mega server that everyone can join. However, that might not be entirely possible, so expect as many people in a server as possible with some concessions and stipulations. However, there will be no loading screens beyond you logging into the game. Everything else will be seamless. Server populations are partly tied to client and server performance and technology. They're currently set at 50 players per server, and server populations are a work in progress. Object container streaming, parallel network jobs, and server meshing are all part of this to push that limit higher. Parallel network jobs, which are currently pegged for Alpha 3.5, is a server thread optimization that allows servers to handle a greater number of connections and should see populations rise because of that. The limiting factor with this technology is going to be the maximum number of connections a single server can take before dropping below performance thresholds. This will mean that even a small room will have a maximum population, as will a whole hab building, as will a planet. Another potential limiting factor is the latency and pings of clients connecting to those servers. So if the ping and latency is too high for the US to play with Europe, then they're going to have to split the servers regionally. Object container streaming is split into two parts, client and server, which required a re-engineering of the game's engine, and it's something that caused delays to both Star Citizen and Squadron 42, originally planned to take 6 months, but at this stage actually taking 18 months to get the first iteration of. Client-side object container streaming allows for dynamic seamless loading in and out of assets, textures, locations, ships, and entities that are proximate to a player. The system has areas divided into nested containers that every object will sit inside, and containers can sit within each other as well. They basically contain the information of what to stream in at any given time. This can be the Stanton system, or Planet Hurston, or Lorville, or a room on Lorville in the hab block there. They're all separate object containers which can sit within each other. Client-side object container streaming premiered in Alpha 3.3's branch. This has seen a massive rise in performance and frame rates for the game. Server-side object container streaming allows the server to save and load out areas when not being used, then load them back in when needed. This is mainly for server efficiency and save states, but in the case of Squadron 42, the client and server are effectively both on the client PC, so it's still essential for Squadron 42. Long-distance objects can be partly loaded in if there is a reason to, like a ship scans them. This means that some of the entity's data that is required can be loaded, but only what's required. It doesn't need to load in all of the data, which is great because, again, that leads to more efficiency. Server meshing takes this step one further by allowing each of these object containers to be run by individual servers. So this could be an individual room on a ship, but the system will dynamically have servers spin up and down based on population needs for each object container, then stitch them together so you can seamlessly move between them. They want the tech to support thousands of players on a planet at once, though there is no way they could render thousands of players in a single small dogfight in a really small area if they all have their own ships. They just don't have the amount of render budget to be able to do that. Some solutions to these problems that they foresee encountering could be to potentially make high traffic areas have queues or be harder to access when large amounts of players are there. This could be done by increasing docking fees or taxes in the area, so players don't want to be in a less profitable mission area, or they don't want to land at expensive stations, or they could have jump points locked down for a short amount of time for like a queuing system. Dangerous environmental hazards, things like that. If the servers remained segregated in the short term, like they currently are, they'd still allow you potentially to move between the UK servers and the US servers if you wanted to, so you could play with your US or UK mates or whatever. However, with a good enough server infrastructure, I would hope that pings between these areas wouldn't be a problem, and I am expecting probably a single shard server, unless that is not viable for some reason. They have talked about having servers that share the same areas, but are effectively instanced from other players too, in the case of huge populations in very small areas. The truth is, when it comes to some of this tech, it's being built out now, and we won't know the problems and the solutions until they've encountered them. Server-side object container streaming, various optimizations, and the groundwork for server meshing are all pegged for 2019. Server meshing itself is likely to be around 2020. Server meshing is the final pillar that they have outlined to be completed for a more full gameplay experience, and herald to no more resets for the game, meaning progress would be permanent. All these features will continue to receive updates, bug fixes, and iterative improvements throughout the project, and in no way should they be seen as final. If you have any further questions on the topic, please put them in the comments below or check out the accompanying article. Every month we have a giveaway for a Star Citizen ship. For January, we have a standalone Anvil Carrack, the mighty explorer vessel. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and then comment on any of my videos released during the month. You can find more details in the comments below. If you don't have a gaming PC yet, or you are upgrading, instead consider Shadow Cloud Gaming. They allow you to leverage the powers of the internet to stream a high-spec Windows 10 environment to any other PC, Mac, or device like a smartphone or tablet. It is working really well in Star Citizen's 3.4 branch, and be sure to use the code BoredGamer if you do decide to check it out to get a discount. Links below. For those of you wanting to support the channel further, there is Patreon, and I will be looking for an alternative platform as well for people that have requested that. But in addition, or as an alternative to that at the moment, there's the YouTube channel memberships, literally the join button below this video, or direct donations via the links below as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help me. Any feedback or opinions is greatly appreciated and helps guide the channel working out what content is a good idea to put out next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.